and then we're going to do some Simran, and we're going to do a job based on God in her memory, and then Bhai Mohan will continue with the seminar. So we hope you will enjoy it, and we hope you take this seminar because we're very grateful to have something like this happen for us at such a short notice. Why did you work hard so hard?
नाम सुनने के बाद जो पैसा बहुत सारे रख के करना है तो जी पहुँची देंगे उसके बाद पैसा जी आपने विचार देंगे वाहे कुछ का भाषा वाहे कुछ की कतें वाहे गुरु वाहे गुरु वाहे गुरु वाहे गुरु वाहे गुरु वाहे गुरु वाहिगुरु सिमरो सिमर सिमर सुख पाओ कल कलेस तन माहि मिटाओ वाहिगुरु 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 जो आया सो चलसी सब कोई आई वारी है जिसके जी प्राण है क्यों साहिब मनो विसारिए वाहिगुरु 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 गुरु गुरु गुर कर मन मोर गुरु बिना मैं नाई होर गुर परमेश्वर को जान देवन कै एक भगवान वाहिगुरु 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 वाहिगुरु। संगत जी बेनती है सारिਆਂ ने मिल के ਹੁਣ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਣੇ 'ਚ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ। ਹੁਣ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਚੌਪਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਪਾਠ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੀਬੀ ਕਿਰਨਜੀਤ ਦੇ ਨਮਿਤ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ। ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਹਾਜ਼ਰੀ ਲਗਾਉਣੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। पातशाही दसवीं कभ्यो बाच बेनती चौपई हमरी करो हाथ दे रक्षा पूरन होए चित की इच्छा ताव चरणन मन रहे हमारा अपना जान करो प्रतिपार हमरे दुष्ट सब तुम काओ आप हाथ दे मोहे बचाओ सुखी बसै मोरो परवार सेवक सिख सब करतारा मोर अच्छा निज कर दे करी भैर इनको आज संगरी पूरन होए हमारी आशा तोर भजन की रह प्यास तुम्हें छाड़ कोई अवर ना त्याऊं, जो बर चाहूं सो तुम ते पाऊं। सेवक सिख हमारे तारिये, चुन चुन सतर हमारे मारिए। आप हाथ दे मुझे उभरिए, भरन काल का त्रास निवरिए। उज्जो सदा हमारे पच्छा, सिरयस तुझो करियो रक्षा। राख लियो मोय राखन हारे, साहिब संत सहाय पियार। दीन बंधु तन के हंता, तुमो पुरी चतुर्दश कंता। काल पाए ब्रह्मा भवतारा, काल पाए सूर्य अवतारा। काल पाए कर विष्णु प्रकाशा, सकल काल का किया तमाशा। जवन काल जोगी शिव कियो, वेद राज ब्रह्मा ज्योतियो। जवन का सब लोक सवारा, नमस्कार है ताए हमारा। जवन काल सब जगत बनायो, देव दै जछन उपजायो। आदि अंत कै अवतार, सोई गुरु समझियो हमार। नमस्कार तिसी को हमार, सकल प्रजा जिन आप सवार। सेवकन को सब गुण सुख दी, सत्रन को पल मोह बद की। काट काट के अंतर की जान, भले बुरे की पीर पहचान। चीटी ते कुंचर स्थूल, सब पर कृपा दृष्ट कर फूल। संतन दुख पाए ते दुखी, सुख पाए साधन के सुखी। एक एक की पीर पहचान, काट काट के पट पट की जान। जाबुद कर्क करा करतार, प्रजा तर तब दे अपार। जाब्या कर्क करत हों कब हूँ, तुम्हें मिलत दे तर सब हूँ। जेते बदन से सब तार, आप अपनी भूज चार। तुम सभी ते रहत निराल, जानत वेद भेद अरियाल। निरंकार निरवकार निलंब, आद नील अनाद सम। ताका मूढ़ चार्त पेदा, जाको पेव न पावत बेदा। ताको कर पानन मान, महामूढ़ कछ भेद न जान। महादेव को कहत सदास, निरंकार का चिन्हत न पे। आप अपनी बुध है जेती, वर्णत पिन पिन तय तेत। तुमरा लखा न जाए पसारा, कह बिद सजा प्रथम संसार। एक कै रूप अनूप स्वरूप, रंग प्यो राव कई फूप। अंड जेर से तज कीनी, उत्पुज खान बहोर दीनी। कहूँ फूल राजा है बैठ, कहूँ सिमट पै शंकर कैठा। सगरी सृष्टि दिखाए अचंबो, आज जुगाद स्वरूप से अम्बो। अब रक्षा मेरी तुम करो, सिख वार सिख संगरो। दुष्ट ते उढ़वत तुपाता, सकल मलेच करो रण कात। जयस दुष्टव सरनी पर, तिनके दुष्ट दुख है मर। पुरख जवन पग परे तिहार, तिनके तुम संकट सब टार। जो कल को एक बार तिय हैं, ताके काल निकट ने हैं। रक्षा होए ताए सब काल, दुष्ट अरिष्ट रह तत्काल। कृपा दृष्टन जाए निहरियो, ताके ताप तनक मोह हरियो। रिद्धि सिद्ध कर्मो सब होई, दुष्ट छाछ वैस के ना कोई। एक बार जिन तुम्हें संबार, काल फांसते ताए बार। जिन नर नाम तिहारो कहाँ, दारद दुष्ट दोख तेरा। खड़ग केत में शरण त्यारी, आप हाथ दे ले उबारी। सर्व ठोर मोह साय, दुष्ट दोख ते ले बचाई। कृपा करी हम पर जग माता, ग्रंथ करा पूरन सुभरात। किलबिग सगल दे को हरता, दुष्ट दोखियन को छय करता। श्रेयस तुझ पे दयाला, पूर्ण करा गंत तत्काला। मन बाछत फल पावे सोई, दुख न तिसै व्यापत कोई। अड़िल सुनै गुंग जो आए, सुरस ना पावही। सुनै मूल चतलाए चतुरतावही। दुख दर्द पौ निकट न तिन्नर के रह। ये जो या की एक बार चौपई को कह चौपई। संबत 17 सहस पड़े जय, अर्ध सहस फुन 3 कहे जय। भाद्रो सुदी अस्मीर वारा, तीर सतर दव गंत सदारा। सैया। पाए गहें जब ते तुमरे तब ते को आँख तरह नहीं आने हो। राम रहीम पुराण कुरान अनेक कह मत एक ना मान्यो। सिमरत शास्त्र वेद सब बहु भेद कह हम एक ना जाने हो। श्री असपान कृपा तुमरी कर मैं ना कयो सब तोए बखान्यो। धरा सगल द्वार को छाड़ के गयो तुहारो द्वार। बहें गहें की लाज अस गोबिंद दास तुहार। साध संगत जी बेनती है, ये छोटा जिहा शब्द है, ये ਸਾਡੇ ਮਾਪਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਫਰਜ਼ ਹੈ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਮੂੰਹ ਜ਼ਬਾਨੀ ਯਾਦ ਕਰਾਓ। ਬਿਲਾਵਲ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਪੰਜਵਾਂ, ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਹਰ ਟਾਈਮ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ। ਹਰ ਟਾਈਮ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਰ ਪਾਉ ਕੁਛ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਣਾ ਜੀ। ਬਿਲਾਵਲ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਪੰਜਵਾਂ। ताती वाओ ना लगही पार ब्रह्म शरणाहे। चौगिर्द हमारे राम कार दुख लगे ना पाई। सतगुर पूरा पेटिया जिन बंत बनाही। राम नाम औखद दिया एक काल विलाई रहाओ। राख लिए तिन रखन हार सब ब्याद मिटाई। कहो नानक कृपा पही प्रभ पहे सहाय। कहो नानक कृपा पही प्रभ पहे सहाय। बोल चुकती खिमा बख्शनी जी। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। बोले सोनिहार ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ 2 ਮਿੰਟ ਭਾਈ ਮਨਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਰੱਖਣਗੇ ਜੀ। ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰੋ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਜੀ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। I think we did this talk a while back. Bhai Sahib came again and this whole ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਚੇਅਰਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਨੂੰ ਬਿਠਾਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗਿਆ। And we want to apologize, we didn't have justice to do the marketing for this to get the sangat back on as well. So thank you for coming, Bhai Sahib. Really appreciate it. So Bhai Sahib will come in a second, but my question to the sangat is, I don't have any vichars, but just the कि तुहानू पता है गुरु नानक दरबार सपोर्ट नेटवर्क की है? Put your hand up if you know what Guru Nanak Darbar Support Network is. किसी भी नहीं पता? So is this your put your hand up if this is your first time coming to this hall? Oh, Vaheguru Kirpa. So that's amazing, है ना? बहुत वधिया लग्या कि साडे को संगत आई है जो पहले साडे को नहीं आई सी. So I think that's a win for us as well, है ना? कि नवी संगत भी आई है देखने वास्ते. So Guru Nanak Darbar is a Guru Kar which is just half a mile towards that side, है ना? And there was a lot of grooming cases happening. बहुत grooming cases हो रही सी. Grooming ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੋਈ ਬੰਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਗਲਵਸ ਕਵੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਜੋ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰ ਦੇ. In a very easy high level sense, grooming ਦਾ ਇਹ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ. So ਇੱਕ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ 17 ਕੇਸਿਸ ਆਏ ਸੀ ਅਫਗਾਨੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ. ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ already last week ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਕੇਸ ਆਇਆ ਹੈ ਤੇ literally today in the car I heard of another case. Literally as I'm driving now. You know, so ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਅਫਗਾਨੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੇਸਿਸ ਆ ਰਹੇ. And in other communities in the north for the past 25 years this has been happening, but this is happening since our Guru Sahib ji's time as well. This grooming is not a new thing ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਡਰ ਲੱਗੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਤੋਂ, ਹੈ ਨਾ? ਸੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਨੈਟਵਰਕ ਜੋ ਫਾਊਂਡੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਖਿੱਚ ਪਈ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਗਰੂਮਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਕੇਸਿਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਈ ਸੀ. ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਦਾਸ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ, ਦਾਸ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਹੁਣ 3 ਸਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਏ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਉੱਦਾਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ, ਐਵੇਂ ਦੀ ਹੋਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ. There was nothing like this where we could get our youngsters to actually learn about Sikhi because the foundation comes from there, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਸੋ ਜਦੋਂ ਦਾਸ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਲੜਾਈ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ. ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੀਰ ਜੀ ਵੀ ਜੋ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ 20 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਲੜਾਈ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ. ਸੋ ਮਾਰੇ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਪੱਕੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ. ਸੋ ਇਸ ਹੋਲ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਸਾਡੇ 13 ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟਸ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਐਵਰੀ ਵੀਕ. ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਨਲਾਈਨ ਸਰਚ ਕਰੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਨੈਟਵਰਕ ਤੇ ਦੇਖੋ ਉਹ 13 ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟਸ ਕੀ ਨੇ. ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੋ, ਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਫॉर ਵੂਮਨ, ਆ ਸਾਡੀ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਮਾਵਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਵੱਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਛੋਟੇ ਤੱਕ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਐਕਸਰਸਾਈਜ਼ ਕਲਾਸਿਸ ਨੇ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਡੇਜ਼ ਤੇ, ਯੋਗਾ ਕਲਾਸਿਸ ਨੇ, ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਕਲਾਸਿਸ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਓ, ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖੋ, ਮੈਥਸ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖੋ, ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਕਰੋ, ਐਕਸਰਸਾਈਜ਼ ਵੀ ਕਰੋ. ਐਵੇਂ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਕਲਾਸਾਂ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਨੇ. For the youngsters we have course club, for the elderly we have course club, all in one, different groups happening in this hall. And the funny thing is all free, ਸਾਰਾ free ਹੈ. ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਇਤਨੇ ਇੰਸਟਰਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਿਖਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ. ਇਹ ਜੋ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੇਵਾਦਾਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਸੇਵਾ ਹੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਦਰਦ ਹੈ, ਪੰਥ ਦਾ ਦਰਦ ਹੈ, ਪੈਣ ਦਾ ਦਰਦ ਹੈ. ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਅਫਗਾਨੀ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਜਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਜਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਜੋ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਤੋਂ ਦੂਰ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਕਿ ਰੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ. They are crying, saying why our kids are going away from Sikhi. ਫਿਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨਸ ਆ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਇੱਕ ਸਪੰਜ ਨੇ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਾਣੀ ਦਿਓਗੇ ਉਹ ਭਰਦੇ ਜਾਣਗੇ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਭਰਨਗੇ. Right. So whatever our parents does, we actually become that. We are byproduct of our parents. है ना? So ਇਹ ਸੋਚਣ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਚਾਤੀ ਮਾਰੋ ਕਿ where are we in our Sikh journey? And if my daughter is getting groomed by a Christian, by a Muslim, by anyone, what morals have we instilled in our kids so they can actually say something about Sikhi? ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈਗੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਜਾਣ ਖੋਜ ਆਪੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ. ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੰਡੇ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਉੱਠੋ, ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਜਾਓ, ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸੁਣੋ, ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਕਲਾਸ ਜਾਓ. That's not enough. I'll be honest, it's not enough. It wasn't enough in my days and it's not enough now. Now our kids are saying, why should we keep our hair? Why shouldn't we eat meat? Why can't we eat halal meat? Do you have answers? Why can't we smoke? Why can't we do drugs? Why can't we do vaping? Why do I have to keep hair under my armpits? ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ. ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਕੇਸਿਸ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਆ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਜੋ ਵੀਰ, ਛੋਟੇ ਵੀਰ ਨੇ, even they getting groomed. ਉਹ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਦੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ. Even our men are getting weak. How crazy is that to think, ਹੈ ਨਾ? ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੌਮ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਪਿਤਾ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ੇਰ ਵਾਂਗੂ, ਸ਼ੇਰ ਦੀ ਕੌਮ ਬਣਾਈ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਦਿਹਾੜਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਇੱਕ ਬੱਕਰੀ ਬਣ ਗਏ ਹਾਂ. We are following everyone, ਹੈ ਨਾ? So we keep having to call Bhai Mohan Singh back because prevention is better than cure. Cure ਵੇਲੇ ਬੜਾ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਿਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ. So prevention, ਹੈ ਨਾ? So please do follow us and support network. We're not asking of you any money. ਕੋਈ ਦੇਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦਿਲ ਚੋਂ ਚਾਹੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਡੋਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ it helps us carry these buildings, helps us pay the bills as well. So we don't have to keep asking the Gurdwara to keep feeding us money, ਹੈ ਨਾ? They already gave us a big building to take care of as well. So ਸਾਰੇ young ਸੇਵਾਦਾਰ ਨੇ, ਵੱਡੇ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਛੋਟੇ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ. 12-13 ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟਸ ਨੇ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹੋ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਓ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਐਸਟੈਬਲਿਸ਼ਮੈਂਟ ਬਣਾਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਭੇਜੋ ਤੇ ਆਪੇ ਵੀ ਇਨਵੋਲਵ ਹੋਵੋ. Course club is for everyone. All the bibia, all our bibia here. I don't see any men here, but you know, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਓ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਆਪਣੇ I do one benti in your charan. Before you leave that door, just say to yourself, I'm going to have one person with me that will bring to this hall next time on any of the projects, so we can build a community. If you go down literally 1 mile, there's a mosque. ਉਹ mosque ਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੇ ਸ਼ੁੱਕਰਵਾਰ ਸ਼ਾਮੀ 7 ਵਜੇ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਾਓਗੇ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਣ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਜੋ ਮੁਸਲਿਮ ਭਰਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਗੋਲ ਚੱਕਰ 'ਚ ਬਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ. And they literally talk about how to groom because they believe one thing ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਗਰ groom ਕਰੋਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦਰਗਾਹ 'ਚ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਮਿਲੇਗੀ. It's getting recorded and I'm not scared to say this, ਹੈ ਨਾ? So ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਮਕਸਦ ਹੈ. We're not saying they're wrong. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ. ਸਾਡਾ ਸੱਚ ਕੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ. ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ? No, don't use ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ as an attack, ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਸੁਣੋ, ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਫੰਡਾਮੈਂਟਲ ਇਸ ਪਿਆਰ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਪਰੋ ਤੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਦਿਓ। ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨੀ ਪੁੱਛਣਗੇ, ਉਹ ਮੰਮਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਮਿਲੇ ਇੰਨਾ ਸਾਰਾ? ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਪਿਆਰ ਦੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਭੁੱਖੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਗੇ। Why do you think the people that get groomed, where they're going? They because they're getting pyar from someone else. Because our fathers don't spend time with their daughters. Our mothers don't spend time with their daughters. So they seek pyar from elsewhere. And Paisa will tell you all these cases. It's a common theme across everything. You know, attention. Why? Sikhi, why? ਪਿਆਰ ਦੇ ਦਇਆ, ਸਾਡਾ ਫਾਊਂਡੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੀ ਦਇਆ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕੰਪੈਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਹੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲੇ, ਅਗਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਵੇਂ, ਹਾਊ ਡੂ ਵੀ ਇਨਸਟਿਲ ਦਿਸ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਟੂ ਫਾਈਂਡ ਇਟ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਸੋ these are some of the ਬੇਨਤੀਜ਼ I had to do, not ਵਿਚਾਰਸ but ਬੇਨਤੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰਨਾ। ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਡੋਂਟ forget before you leave the door, spread the word that this is happening. We got over 25 cases in Afghani community, and you must know that in Afghani community we are very prideful. ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਇਹ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ, ਪਰ ਹੋ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਰਿਹਾ, ਬਾਹਰ ਨਿਕਲ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਸਲੋਲੀ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੌਮ ਅਫਗਾਨਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੱਥ ਦਾ ਖਾਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ, ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰੇ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ, ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਕਦੀ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਦਾੜੀਆਂ, ਸਾਡੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਕੇਸ, ਮੂੰਹ ਤੇ ਦਾੜੀਆਂ, ਕਦੀ ਰੋਮਨ ਦੀ ਬੇਅਦਬੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ। ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਦੀ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ? ਸੋਚਣ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਉਹ ਫਲੈਸਨ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਬਹਿ ਗਏ ਆ ਸਾਰੇ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਸ਼ਰਾਬਾਂ ਵੇਚਦੇ, ਸਿਗਰਟਾਂ ਵੇਚਦੇ ਆ, ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਕਰ ਖਾਣਾ ਸੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਆਪਣਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹੀਓ ਪੈਸਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਖਾਣਾ ਖਿਲਾਇਆ, ਪਰ ਕੁਛ ਤਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਨਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿਚਕਾਰ। So we have to think about this. Maybe change your kid's life. If you can't change yourself with the profession that you have, ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਉਹ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਦੇ, ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰੋ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਬਗੈਰ ਕੁਛ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਚੱਲੇ ਜਾਣਾ, ਬੱਚੇ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਣੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੌਮ ਹੈ, ਨੈਕਸਟ ਜਨਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਹੈ ਇਹੋ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰੋ, ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰੋ, ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾ ਭਰੋ, ਫਿਰ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਦਿਓ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਨੈਟਵਰਕ ਹੈਗਾ, ਪਲੀਜ਼। I don't have anything to say, but ਪੁੱਲ ਚੁੱਕ ਦੀ ਖਿਮਾ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। So today we're not going to be talking about grooming. It really is, we're here together because just down the road we had Kirandeep Kaur murdered in her own home. Now your own home is when you lock the door away from the world, you feel safe. And ਸਮਾਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ somebody can kick your door in and kill you. Okay? And there was a 3-month-old baby there. And it's a crazy story. And I was there on Saturday at the vigil. I think it was on Sunday in Hayes. There were a lot of men there, but I didn't see apniyan bhainan. I didn't see the women folk there. And I don't know why. Most of the people there were from the Midlands at the function. Here in West London is where the biggest amount of concentration of Sikhs are. In and around these areas, there's over 50,000 Sikhs. ਤੇ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਟਾਈਮ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਭੈਣ ਲਈ, ਆਪਣੀ ਧੀ ਲਈ ਆਪਾਂ ਅੱਧਾ ਘੰਟਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਢ ਸਕਦੇ, that says a lot about us. Okay? And we're here today because it's not just one attack. She's lost her life. There's been many in the last sort of 6 months, 9 months. There's been so many cases, okay? So we're just going to be sort of giving you some safety tips because we all got to step outside in the world. We've all got to go to work. We've all got to go to the shops. We've all got to do our day-to-day chores and everything. And the more safer you remain, the more tools you have, the more safe you will be. Okay. It's not working. Okay. So basically, we want to stop any type of violence against women. Now, I've been working around this sort of field for over 30 years. Mainly, I deal with sexual abuse, grooming. We do get a lot of domestic violence cases. Stuff that our community really don't talk about. I've just been talking to a sister here. She was involved in she knows somebody very close to her who actually killed her daughter-in-law, and she was sent to prison. She's out now, but I think last year she passed away. So and the more we're aware of these things, the safer we'll be. So it's about safety. So some of it's going to be hard hitting. And like I said, I don't normally take prisoners. So basically, it's a Chardi Kala protection, empowering our sisters, daughters. Just give them real sort of tools, not pie in the sky sort of stuff, but real tools, day-to-day tools that we need to protect ourselves. So Maya says, "Vakta bachare, so banda ho." Very powerful shabad. Vakta, summer, time, bachare. So whatever times that we're going through, if we ponder over what times we're going through, are they good times or bad times? And if it's bad times, then we have to act accordingly. Whoever contemplates on what they're going through right now, the times that we're going through right now, they are considered human. And look at the times that we're going through. We're going through some very turbulent times. I was 2 years old when I went to this country. I'm 64 now. And I remember growing up in the 70s when there wasn't this much population of cities. And we faced racism. We faced it at the hands of the boys in school, colleges, and other places. Discrimination at work and everything like that. But now it's done a complete circle. And we're back to what was happening to us in the 70s. And we know the case in Southampton, that case was in Southampton, a young man by the name of Dibwa. Okay, Henry Nova, okay, stabbed Kita. ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਰੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਜੱਜ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਸਾਰੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਬੁਰੀ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਨਾਲ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ, and it's quite scary that everybody was judged because of the action of one person. But if we look at it in this case, Kirti Kaur is murdered in cold blood by a Gora who doesn't live in the area, came out of the area she was going to die that night when she closed her front door. And we've had so many cases. That's why the urgency to actually do this program, and you guys take it on purpose of Don being the CEO, because we don't want another kid, or we don't want all the 5 or 6 cases that we have where people have been raped. One person was set fire. One gentleman was walking in the park and he got set upon by 6 different people. One taxi driver was dragged outside the taxi and beaten. It's all happening in instant fun. So we've got to stop sleepwalking through life. And the number one thing is we all sit down and say the can't happen to us. That is the biggest source that we can have. I've been to gurdwaras, I've been to universities, I've been around the world. I've just come back from Australia, New Zealand, countries, been talking to them. And I've had people calling me who were in my seminar 7, 8 years ago, and they said, Faisal, we never thought we needed your number. And certainly, we come to seminars, we come to talks, just to gather a bit of knowledge, we're thinking you're immune to the problem. Nothing can hurt you, nothing can affect you. You're in control. The answer is no. If you sleepwalk through life and you have that thought, you're probably the easiest target. So don't bury your heads in the sand. That is a very famous animal, an offspring. It's a very famous an offspring. It buries his head in the sand. Now, 90% of the information you're going to receive is through your eyes. 10%, 80% sorry, through the eyes, 10% through the ears, and the rest 10% through touch, taste, and smell. Now, if you bury your head, you can't see anything, and you can't hear the danger. And most people, that's how we skirt through life. We bury our heads and thinking, yeah, it's happened to Kirandeep, or it's happened to this person. If it's happened to this person, it ain't going to happen to us. When we back in the days when we used to go to prisons and talk to rapists, to predators, trying to get inside the mind of a predator. And I'm going to quote you certain stuff from all these meetings. They used to say, give us a person who's aloof to everything. That becomes our easiest victim. Someone who just sleepwalks through life, not concerned with what's happening in its local vicinity or local area, just just engrossed in your own self, engrossed in your own work, engrossed into your own family situation, and not really worried about what's happening outside. That really becomes an easy target. Okay, so Maharaj has made you human beings. Maharaj ne akkhan taan dekhiyan not to sleepwalk through life, but to look, to hear what's happening. It ain't going to be funny when it happens to us. It happened to a young girl who walked home, opened her door. As she was walking in, somebody followed her inside, pushed her in, and she was raped for a couple of hours. Apni bachchi. Walsall de vich. She probably thought nothing like that would ever happen. I'm inside my house. I've just opened my door. I'm safe. It happened to a young girl walking through a park, taking a shortcut. Oldbury. She got raped by 2 people. And they're not being caught yet. So assault can happen at any time, at any place. And the more clued up we are, every little tool you have potentially could save you. Okay? The more knowledge you have and the more knowledge you apply, potentially could save you. Ignoring a threat doesn't make it disappear. So if we say, nahi hona, doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It might happen to somebody else. So if we ignore something, in our minds it might not happen, but you are putting yourself in a problematic area, because if we know around the West London, kede area maade a, kede area change a, kithe apa safe a, kithe nahi a, these are the little tools you need. So a community that stays blind to safety of its own women invites its own desolation. Awareness is your spiritual duty. Maharaj has given you that awareness to use, not ke use nahi karna. That's why out of all the animals in the world, 84 lakh joon de vich, the human being sits on the top of the ladder. And Gurmat, true righteousness, requires facing uncomfortable truths. ਇਹ ਮਤ ਸਮਝੋ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਭੈਣ ਭਰਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਡਰ ਨਾ ਜਾਣ ਜਾਂ ਜੇ ਉਹ stuff like that. You're denying them of real knowledge, of knowledge that can protect them. And Maharaj says, De Shiva Barmohe E Shubh Karmante Kabhuna. They never refrain from a righteous act. And what better righteous act is to teach. So the person you're teaching to is protected. I'm just going to go back. How do I go back on this? I've just moved forward. Okay. This is actually a survey done by the Sikhs on hate crime against Sikhs since 2020. And I think it's the Federation, Sikh Youth Federation. Has risen between 70 and 169%. And even these numbers are very low because we don't report anything. ਆਪਾਂ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਚੁੱਪ ਕਰਕੇ ਬਹਿ ਜਾਓ, ਕਿਹੜਾ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ ਕੁਛ ਕਰਨਾ. So our numbers are very low on reporting. We should report if somebody says a bad word to us on a bus, if somebody says something nasty to us when we're walking, we should report everything. So the more reporting that we do, the more data they have. Okay. So high profile cases, you got the Kirandeep Kaur thing, and you've got, just have to Google it now, guys. Can you imagine two sisters in the space of 1 month, two young ladies, one being raped in a park by two guys, the other one being raped in her own home, a Buzurg being set on fire. And the irony is कि जिस मुल्क दे च आपां बैठे हां, एक गोरे दे नाइफ वज्जा, which is wrong. Knife ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੱਜਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ. And my heart goes to that family, the Henry Novak family. Amazing soul, rest in peace. But all Gore were out on the streets. Southampton ਦੇ ਚ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਰੌਲਾ ਪਿਆ. ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਾਡੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਈ ਅਟੈਕ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਆ. ਕਿਰਨਦੀਪ ਨਿੱਜਰ ਦਾ ਮਰਡਰ ਹੋਇਆ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿੰਨਿਆਂ ਜਾਣੇ ਨੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਸਟ ਕੀਤਾ. ਕਿਉਂ? ਸਾਡੀ ਕੁਛ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੀ. Is she not part of the community? ਆਪਾਂ ਚੁੱਪ ਕਿਉਂ ਆ? We should be shouting from the bottom of our lungs, because that's a daughter that's been murdered. Like I said, a daughter being raped in a park, a daughter being raped in her own home, a Buzurg being burnt and left to die, a Buzurg walking through the park with his kids, being set upon by six, 7 people, attacked him. And we don't make a noise? It's because we're fast asleep. We think it can never happen to us. ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਈ, it's okay. It's all right. It hasn't happened to us. It's happening to somebody else. That's not the Sikh spirit, by the way. Sikh is about the collective, about the brotherhood, not about individualism. And we shouldn't stay stum ਜਿੰਨਾ ਚਿਕਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਾ ਇਸ ਕੇਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਮੋਟਿਵ ਸੀ, ਕੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ. But after Henry Novak's murder case, they had the Prime Minister saying how bad it was. They had, from the reform, the party, Navi party, reform, the Nigel Farage, asking for cold rage. ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਦੱਸੋ, a murder is a murder. ਸਾਡੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾਮ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਇਦਾਂ ਮਰਡਰ ਹੋਇਆ. Why? Don't brown lives matter? And there's certain people probably sitting here don't even care. Because I can just tell by their faces. They don't care. The thing is, Don't cry when it happens then. ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਨ ਨਾ, I never see them at any morchas, I never see them anywhere else. ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਦੋਂ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਦਸਤਾਰਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਲਾਜ ਰੱਖ ਲਿਓ ਹੁਣ. So the audit shows there's 21% more that have faced physical and verbal abuse. It's on the increase. And it will only go on the increase in vadi jana because it's in its problems, and every problem is now blame the immigrants, blame the brown people, blame the black people, blame these people, because if these people weren't there, we wouldn't have all these problems. And there's certain parties that are promoting this. So this problem, Kirandeep, this is antala kam, murder is the end thing, but this ain't going to stop. And that's why the urgency to actually learn and also to teach other people. ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਨਹੀਂ, ਇਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਰ 2-3 ਵੀਕ ਹੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਲਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਕਰਿਆ ਕਰੋ. "94% go unreported." 100 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ 6% ਹੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. 94%. You're not only doing yourself this justice, but ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ. And the thing is, if you don't know how to report, then contact people like that. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹਿਲੋਂ ਬੋਲੇ ਸੀਗੇ. Contact the support network. Let them help you make the report. ਦੇਖੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਇੱਕ ਮੌਸਕ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ synagogue ਦੇ ਲਾਗੇ, outside a synagogue there was an attack. Day later, the government announces 250 million pounds for the protection of synagogues and all that. Day later. ਕਿਸੇ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਰੇਪ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਜਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਮਰ ਗਈ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਪ੍ਰੋਮਿਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੱਖ? ਨਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਤੇ ਨਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮੰਗਣਾ ਆਉਂਦਾ. That's our problem. So let's have a look at the safeguarding. Eliminate all digital blind spots. ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਤੁਰਨ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਕਿਤੇ ਵੀ ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਬੰਦਾ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ, ਉਹ ਕੰਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਟੂਟੀਆਂ ਲਾਈਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ. And your 10% is completely off. You don't even know who's walking up behind you. And it's not just the young girls here, even the mothers. ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇ ਫੋਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਨੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ, ਧਿਆਨ ਸਾਡਾ ਫੋਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ. That's a massive blind spot. Just imagine you're opening the door, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਸੀ got raped. Just imagine ਉਹ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਨੂੰ ਝਾਤੀ ਮਾਰਦੀ ਜਾਂ ਕੌਣ ਹੋਇਆ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਹੈਗਾ ਕੌਣ ਨਹੀਂ, ਕੀ ਇੱਕਦਮ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਬਣਨਾ ਅੰਦਰ ਡੋਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, unlock the door. She wasn't aware that anybody was behind her. because we're too glued to this. So ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਇਹ ਕਰਿਆ ਕਰੋ that there's no digital blind spot that's coming from school, coming home, going to work, going to college, whatever. You want to check your social media, you can check it when you get there. You want to talk to someone, you talk to someone when you're in your place of safety. Zaruri to nahi, the world ain't going to go away just because you don't, you need to pick up that phone straight away. Apna sara dhyan chal janda when we're talking to someone. Why do you think phones abandon cars? Because sada dhyan chal janda, and then even though we're looking, we lose sight of what's on the road. And Sat Sangat ji, it only takes 3 seconds for you to lose your dhyan where somebody can attack you. 1, 2, 3. That's it. So I always use the 15-second scan. Jithe bhi janne ha, every 15 seconds, look around you. ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਡੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ look back, ਇੱਧਰ ਦੇਖਣਾ, side mirror ਦੇਖਣਾ, ਦੂਜਾ ਦੇਖਣਾ. At 15 seconds. If you can do it every 10 seconds, brilliant. But I just use this rule every 15 seconds is when I switch off from everything. And if I'm outside, I'm not just going to be walking in a straight path and just focusing on what I'm thinking or whatever. Every 15 seconds, I'm going to be looking around. Okay, I saw that person. You know what? ਇਹਨੂੰ 2-3 ਮਿੰਟ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਗਰ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਰਿਆ ਹੀ ਆਉਂਦਾ. Okay, do I need to worry about him? I'm going to then check again on him in 10 seconds and keep checking and scanning. And we normally do that. ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਗੱਡੀ ਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਗੱਡੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਵੀ ਇੱਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਮੁੜਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਗੱਡੀ ਵੀ ਇੱਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਮੁੜ ਗਈ, ਦੂਜੇ ਰੋਡ ਤੋਂ ਮੁੜਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਉੱਧਰ ਨੂੰ. Then you start panicking. Have I done something wrong? ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਕੈਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੀ ਆ. So make it a rule and practice it that every time you step outside, have a 15-second rule. When you walk with strength. That you are something. Predators, when we went to prison, that is another thing they come up with. They say any person who is sidetracked and not confident in their walk, we know that's an easy person. And most of us are like this. You're actually showing weakness. When you get to your house, don't just open the door. Have the keys ready with you. A minute before you get to your house, 2 minutes before you get to your house. So you've got that key. You don't look for the key in your purse and then open it, because that's 3 or 4 seconds, 5 seconds that somebody can creep up behind you. And if you're scanning 10, 15 seconds, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਜੂ ਕਿ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਵਿਸਿਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗਾ, and a person who's followed you. Now, It only takes 5 seconds, guys. ਜੇ 5 ਸਕਿੰਟ ਸਾਡਾ ਨਾ 3 ਸਕਿੰਟ ਸਾਡਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਦੂਰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, we could be in trouble. So when you get out of your car, make sure you got your keys in your hand. Make sure you got the key to the house. Look when you're sitting in the car ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਲਾਗੇ ਛਾਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ. Do I need to wait because ਦੋ ਤਿੰਨ ਬੰਦੇ ਤੁਰੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ? Do I need to just sit down there for another minute or so? These are little simple tips that you could do. As soon as you walk inside your doors, lock la liya karo. Now somebody asked me a very potent question. Oh, sutti pai si Kirandeep. So what more could she have done? But you know what? There's simple vibrational alarms that you could fit to your front door and to your front window. Soon as the vibration, somebody's kicked it in, there'll be a massive alarm. That will give you the 3-5 seconds you need to get your thoughts together. If you see someone and he's cornered you, girls, never hit with a fist because you'll break your bones in your hand. And again, I know you're doing classes, but there should be also classes, basic self-defense classes. Always go, without even thinking, always go for the weakest and the softest part of the body. Eyes. Because if somebody's grabbing you and you can't move, he's only got you there. Just have to poke 2 fingers in his eyes. Remember, once you're free, you can get to safety. This area, the throat, these are all soft areas. Because somebody who's grabbed you is going to do the worst thing to you. So in sochio okay, I've been grabbed and I can beg my way out of this. No. So the eyes, the nose, the throat, the groin, these are all accessible areas. And the more you practice, the more it becomes second nature to you. ਕਿ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟਿਸ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਨਾ ਉਨੀ ਸੈਕੰਡ ਨੇਚਰ ਉਨਾ ਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸੈਕੰਡ ਨੇਚਰ ਬਣਦਾ. ਇਟਸ ਨਾਟ ਜਸਟ ਫਰੀਜ਼. ਆਪਾਂ ਫਰੀਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ. And these kind of classes, I hope, with what we're going through, simple defense classes, not ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਲੈਕ ਬੈਲਟ ਲੈਣੀ ਆ, ਕਰਾਟੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਲੈਕ ਬੈਲਟ ਲੈਣੀ ਆ, ਜਾਂ ਕੰਗ ਫੂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਲੈਕ ਬੈਲਟ ਲੈਣੀ ਆ. No, it's just about simply how you can disable someone within the shortest time you can. And if you poke somebody in the eyes, he's going to be disabled. If you poke somebody in the throat, they're going to be disabled. If you knee somebody in the groin, they're gonna. So even if they've caught you from behind, all these are accessible. They're all accessible. Another thing, when we talk to rapists, and there's a book called In the Eyes of a Rapist. What kind of person are they looking for? And they say, someone who lets their hair out. ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਲ ਖਿਲਾਰੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ. Why do you think that is? So easy to pull somebody down and in control. Somebody who wears skirts. Why? Because they're not ripping anything off you. They're just going to lift and rape. So when we go outside, we dress appropriately, trousers, jeans, japna, pajama suit, whatever, and our hair tied up properly, you're actually less likely to be attacked. Also, if you dress like some girls do these days, and their hair out, and they're plastered with makeup because they think that makes them look beautiful, the person looking at you thinks you're easy game. And they'll go for you. The more conservatively you're dressed, the less likely you'll be attacked. So target the soft areas. And Satsangaji, you probably won't get it right away, but this is something that you should be teaching in the coming year to every young girl that attends this, and taking them through like scenarios. And the more you do it, the more it becomes second nature to you. Yeah. Okay. What was it? Situational awareness. Okay. So you scan your surroundings and you keep your eyes up and look around you frequently. All the time. 15-second rule, 15-second rule. 15-second rule. Avoid phone distractions. Do not text. Do not scroll. Do not look down while you're walking alone like this. Always up looking. That will keep you safe. Because you see the danger, you'll spot the danger. Keeps ears free. You want to listen to your favorite song? You can do it when you're at home. But if you're listening to somebody or something, and your dhyan is in the words of what's been said, you lose that attention from the outside, and that you're giving a predator an opportunity to pounce. And if any place makes you feel unsafe, leave immediately. I was only dealing with a case up in East London on Saturday. A 14-year-old girl who felt uneasy at a gurdwara from a Gyani. But she had her wits about her. She came back, went back home, didn't attend her class, and her friend rang me. say, uncle, this person was looking at us like this. And he even asked for her number, telephone number. मैं कहा ठीक है. मैं कहा give me your phone. So this Gyani is ringing her on, messaging her. And then I'm messaging him back. I'm pretending to be the girl now. This goes on for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And then on Saturday, we went to see the Gyani and the committee. And we took a 4 week da sara jehda text message sare ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ, and they were shocked. So if you feel uneasy in any situation, whether it's outside, whether it's in a religious place, whether it's even at somebody's house, you know, get yourself out of that situation. By the way, the video is going to come up in 2 weeks' time. We're going to put that video out of us questioning the Gyani, yeah? Let's move on. Okay, never ever walk in a dark place. Doesn't matter if it's a shortcut to home. Never. ਪਹਿਲੀ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਆ, you shouldn't be out on the streets when it's dark. But I'm talking about the women now who come from work or are going to work, who have shift work and stuff like that. Never ever go on a dark path. Always ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾਓ ਜਿੱਥੇ lighting ਪੂਰੀ ਆ. And always use the main roads, because the main roads have littered with cameras, and if something happens on a main road, the culprit's going to get caught, so he's less likely to do something on a main road. Okay. I've already said that. Have your keys ready. So kunji kad ke ready hove, that you just walk up to your door and open door in. You're not flapping about looking for your keys in your purse or something like that and then trying to find, because your attention's going to be there, and if we divert our attention somewhere else, our attention is not going to be on our surroundings then. ठीक है ना? Lock doors immediately. We've covered that bit. Share your location. ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਘਰੋਂ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ, ਆਪਣਾ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਔਨ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਕਰੋ, ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਾਰਟਨਰ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਟਰਸਟਡ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਵੇਅਰ ਅਬਾਊਟਸ ਲਾਈਵ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ. And I know a lot of kids turn off their location because they're up to no good. Why would you turn something off? We turn things off because we don't want our families to find out where we are. And that is fraudulent behavior. Now, that's not the behavior of a Sikh, but ajkal de niyaane, they might attend gurdwaras, they might attend classes, but Sikhi ਇੰਨੀ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. And they only attend because parents want them to attend. But ਪੁੱਠੇ ਸਿੱਧੇ ਕੰਮ ਸਾਰੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਆ. I mean, if you can, I was shocked when the young man said there's 17 cases. I know that out of every 10 cases I get in West London, 6 are from the Afghani Sikh community. Okay? So we're something else at home, and we're something else outside. We're doing certain things outside. Because it's about safety, we need to use legal safety items. Every one of you guys should have an alarm, rape alarm. And the highest decibel, because noise will make the predator run away. It doesn't want to get caught. And they're so cheap. They're so cheap. And it takes, but you only have to pull they could be on your key ring. Just have to be pulled. It takes a second to pull. And it makes such a noise. And it's legal. Okay? Also, you can get these, and I think the police, certain police stations are handing them out free. And if you contacted your local organizers, if they contacted the Met Police, I think that they would donate a lot of the stuff to you because it's easier. Prevention is better than the cure. It's actually easier giving you something worth £5-10 rather than doing, a £500,000 case in court and looking after somebody in prison and stuff like that. Yeah. So it'd be cheaper for them to, and they do give out certain stuff like that. This is something also that I advise everybody. Now, I know pepper spray is actually banned in this country, okay? You can get it in America, you can get it in Canada and all that, but it's banned in this country. But if you spray it, it temporarily blinds the predator. These are all tools, and then you won't get in trouble afterwards. And they're little things, like with that and an alarm, probably cost, even if you had to pay for it, probably cost you 20 quid. £20 for your safety. That's a great deal. And you just spray it, temporarily blinds him, and when it blinds him, you've got the option. You can run away from the problem, and you can save yourself, but you can also save somebody else by reporting it. This is what happened to you. This is what happened. And they can check the local cameras around and maybe pick the perpetrator up. Because if he hasn't got you, he'll probably do it to somebody else. So this one, Fabe gel, is actually a very, very good gel. And you just have to Google it, and you can get hold of it. Yeah? So everyday items that as a Sikh we have on. And the one that I always go for is a heavy duty kada. Now you just imagine that even if you went like that, or like that, especially with a kada like this, a khalsa is supposed to be tiyar bar tiyar. ਅੱਜਕੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਨੇ ਨਿੱਕੀ ਨਿੱਕੀਆਂ ਕੜੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਕੜੇ ਪਾਏ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਮਾੜੀ ਜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਸਰਗਨ ਚੂੜੀ and it's not even a kada. So if you have this on you all the time, you potentially got a very potent weapon that could actually save you. Because even if you do that, like that, and you don't have to be the hardest puncher or anything like that, you are going to cause the pain there. And all you need is that 3 seconds to 5 seconds to get away. That's all it is. And the person won't come for you again because it's now scared. It wants to get away so it doesn't get caught by the police. ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੜੇ ਦੇਖ ਲਿਓ. I don't think Baba Deep Singh was wearing these little things. ਹੁਣ ਕਈਆਂ ਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਪਾਏ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏ. And that one is what is that a kada or? Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. Now, can you just take that off, just for me? What do you think is going to do the damage? What do you think is going to help you save? क्योंकि आज ये बच्चा है ना, इन्हें तो उतना ही bend हो ना देखो ले. That's not a kada. Get a real one. Right? So what I'm saying is that you've got tools on you as a Sikh to defend yourselves. Okay? So I would use that. Also, I carry this. That's a pen. Feel that. Turn around. Did that pain? Yeah. Feel it. Just feel it. There. It's legal. So you could just have a normal day-to-day item with you, and that could be your saving grace. That could give you the 2 minute, the 3 second, 5 seconds to get away from someone. And these cost nothing. Well, it cost me nothing. I pinched it off someone. Okay. I asked him, "You got a pen?" He said, "Yes." I was writing down, and I said, "Oh, nice pen. You're not getting it back." So I got it free, okay? But you can get these pens, and they're heavy duty. Anybody want to check it? You, idda kita, jaan tusi anywhere, you'll sort of hurt them, yeah? That's the pen, okay. Now looking at this picture, which one's the safest? Huh? The middle one. The middle one. The right one. Why? Handy? Loads of? There's a crowd. Somebody's going to assault you. They're not going to assault you where there's a lot of people. Which one's the most dangerous out of them? Why? It's dark. There's nobody around. And people can prey on you straight away. Okay? So never walk in dark spaces. Never take shortcuts. Always go in lit areas. Always have your, even if you're coming back late, tell your partner, tell your parents, I'm a route, so they know exactly where you're coming, and always have your location, live location on at all times. Okay, what's wrong with her? Hanjipot. She's wearing, she's wearing the ears, yeah. What else is wrong with her? her dress. Now, if somebody pulls her down, it's going to take extra time to remove your trousers or your jeans or your pajama. You know, there's going to be an extra fight. But for this one, it's just merely seconds. What's another thing that we spoke about today? There's something else on her as well. Huh? The hair. Literally, you can go behind somebody and pull them down. And and if you guys read in the eyes, in the mind of a predator, in the minds of a rapist, these are the things they look for: how you dress, how you walk, how you look, confidence, where you're walking. Cameras around? No. Dark areas? No. They look at everything. Okay? Because they want to get their satisfaction, but they always want to get away with it as well, yeah? Okay, we're sort of finished here. There's so much more that you could do. I've just told you simple things. But if you had specialized classes, and I'm not talking about karate and kung fu and you want to be a black belt or you want to be an orange belt or whatever. I'm just talking about basic stuff. And if you know the basics, it will get you out of trouble. And that's all you need to do, is to put yourself in a safe spot. Okay? Now, like I said, I've been dealing with cases left, right, and center. And we've just dealt with one up in East London. And the video will come out where we're talking to the predator, where he's telling me all the lies and everything. And then when we pull out the whole thing, and then he's saying sorry and sorry and sorry. When he's telling the girl he's 21, when he's 25, the girl is 14, you know. And that's also another thing. You could be talking to people on the internet, on your Instagrams, on your Snapchats, and they could be saying that they're 18 or 19 or 20. And you think, oh, well, yeah, great, let's meet up. When you go to meet them up, there might be somebody different. There might be a totally different age. And because you're meeting them on the secret, you're not going to tell your family, you're not going to tell your loved one, your location's going to be off. You can be in more serious problem. I'm going to end with this last case. This girl, she only opened Instagram for 1 month. She was 13. The guy started talking to her. And then one day, she has a uniform on, leaves home as she's going to school, but doesn't go to school because there's a taxi waiting for her. Jumps into the taxi, thinking she's going to meet her boyfriend, who she's been talking to. About 5 miles from where she lived, a place called Manor Park in East London. She lived in Goodmays. Taxi took her to Manor Park. She was really excited. 13-year-old girl, and the guy saying, I love you and all that stuff. And he's even sent her some gifts and everything like that. He opens the door, invites her in, bolts the door. He's not the only one inside there. There's 2 other people. 3 people rape her for 48 hours. For 48 hours, she's been raped continuously. We got a call from the mother. We were up north, up in Bradford. We went back home, changed, came back here. 24 hours had gone by. The kudi hasn't come home. We're looking into iPad and everything. Then we get a gist of where she might be. We go to the house. We surround the house. We call the police. Police come. 3 people come. This case is 4 or 5 years old. Halle tak vi kudi da dimag nahi set aaya. Okay. So 87% of young people believe that everything they hear or see on social media is the truth. No, it's not. Okay? So I deal with the worst of the worst cases. And a lot of our people, we're just falling for simple things. And to get somebody back, mind-wise, from assault or a rape, it takes years to get that trauma out, okay? So as soon as young people I know, as soon as they've turned their location off, the reason why location's turned off is because they don't want mom and dad to find out what they're doing. You're putting yourself in more trouble. Just for a bit of 5 minutes of fun, you could potentially have a massive problem on your hands. And then there'll be nobody there to save you because they've guided you to that place. Okay? I hope that some of the things that the team take on board, because more than anything else, more than talking, you need physical activities. And I hope that get people in to teach you physically how to save yourselves, what kind of gadgets you can use, what kind of sort of education you can have around it, so that ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਦੀ ਵੀ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਨਾ ਪਵੇ of like a Kirandeep, or the girl that got raped in her own home, or the girl that got raped in Bradford, you know. And even if you're walking down the road, it doesn't mean it's rape, but can you imagine that elderly gentleman? He was in his 60s. ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅੱਗ ਲਾਤੀ. Can you imagine ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਿਆਣਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਾਰਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਆ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਿਆਣਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮੋਹਰੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਦਾਂ ਕੋ ਕਰ ਦੇਵੇ? ਹੈਨਾ? So what I'm saying is that we couldn't cover everything today, but ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਣੀ personal safety outside ਤੇ ਆਪਣੀ safety ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਨਾ, have a risk assessment. ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ risk assessment ਕਰੋ, that are we safe in our house? Do we need to do more things? And when we step outside, are we safe? Because that is the number one priority, yeah? Any questions? What we're going to do on the 7th, 8th, and 9th of August at Norwood Greenhouse, we're going to do a parent thing. 3 days for parents. So Friday night from 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock, then Saturday all day and Sunday all day, and we're going to do a prevention course. How parents can prevent things from happening. Anybody who wants to go on that course, please, we're going to, I think there's a QR code, it's ready kar rahe hain, and we're only going to do it for the first 15 to 20 people who want to do it, just to see how it goes. And then when we come back from Canada, which we're going to on the 11th or 12th, we're going to come back and do some programs at Park Avenue and at the main Gurdwara at Singh Sabha. And I think I've had a word with the president of the new president of the Gurdwara, Kabali Sangat, and then combine and then do a massive 3-day camp so that we have all the gyan we need to protect ourselves. Now, knowledge is power. So like we say, arm yourself with knowledge, arm yourself with practical knowledge that can actually save you and not pie in the sky sort of stuff, yeah? Okay, any questions? Hanji. Well, the next time they come for your vote, and what was the response? No, okay, if it was a live case, a little sorry, or it shouldn't have happened, or sympathy towards the family and sympathy towards ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ. Well, what I'm saying is this young lady's death shouldn't just go away now. Okay? We should carry on making noise. ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਕਿੰਨਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਕੀਤਾ? ਹੁਣ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਗਾਜ਼ਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਗਾਜ਼ਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਬੰਬ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ, ਉਸੇ ਵੇਲੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਾਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ. ਜਦੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਪਾਸੇ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਡੋਰ ਸਟੈਪ ਤੇ ਹੋਇਆ. And how many of us put something on the internet? Yeah. I think we sleepwalk through life. This is our main problem. Okay? ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਦੋ ਦਿਨ ਹਾਏ ਕਰਨੀ, ਮਾੜਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਮਾੜਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਮਾੜਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, and then ਤੀਜੇ ਦਿਨ we'll be sitting in front of our television watching our favorite show, eating our favorite food. I'm thinking it's not going to happen to us. Now, some of you guys, I mean, most of you guys have all come from Afghanistan, or your forefathers came. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛ ਕੇ ਦੇਖ ਲਿਓ ਕਿ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਔਖੀ ਸੀ and what they had to do. ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਦੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਗਏ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ relaxed.com ਹੋ ਗਏ ਆ. And some of the values that they held on, ਤੁਸੀਂ completely ਛੱਡ ਦਿੱਤਾ. Now, another thing that I forgot to touch upon because some of the slides just went by is alcohol and drugs. If we are under the influence of alcohol, ਸਾਡਾ ਮਨ ਕਦੀ conscious mind ਕਦੀ ਉਹਦੀ ਤਾਕਤ ਘਟ ਜਾਣੀ ਆ. And even vaping, because in vapes certain things are put, you may be more relaxed, okay, but then you're not conscious enough outside. So anything that alters your mind should be avoided. But here's the irony here. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਬ੍ਰੋਡਵੇ ਦੇ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਓ ਜਾਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਓ, ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵੇਪਸ ਕੌਣ ਵੇਚਦੇ ਆ? ਆਪਣੇ ਬੰਦੇ. ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਕੌਣ ਪੀਂਦੇ ਆ? ਆਪਣੇ ਬੰਦੇ. And alcohol is the number one drug. Because you know what? It's not illegal. And we've accepted it as a part of our social norm that ਅਸੀਂ ਪੀਣਾ ਖਾਣਾ ਤੇ ਆਨੰਦ ਕਰਨਾ. So this is why I'm saying that certain things ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੈ ਨਾ honestly ਇਹ discussion ਕਰਨੀ ਪੈਣੀ ਆ. And it doesn't matter if it hurts somebody or doesn't. But You're selling vapes, you're selling alcohol to other kids, but you're expecting your kids to be safe? I'm sure you will agree with me when Gurbani says, Ape beej, ape hi khao. What you sow, so shall you reap. Okay? So ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. And the campaign for Kirandeep should be carried on. ਤੇ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਚਿਕਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਐਨ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਕੇਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਬੁਰੀ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਵੱਲ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਆ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਰੇਸਿਸਟ ਰਿਮਾਰਕ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਰੈਗ ਹੈਡ ਕਹਿ ਗਿਆ ਜਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਕਹਿ ਗਿਆ, ਐਨੀਥਿੰਗ, ਯੂ ਨੋ ਵਾਟ, ਆਨਲਾਈਨ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ. ਨਹੀਂ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਹੁੰਦੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਲਿਖੇ, ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਰੋ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ? ਯਾ, ਐਨੀਥਿੰਗ ਐਲਸ? ਹਾਂਜੀ. Say it again? I could do it, but then I've got to come back from all the way. I mean, I'm trained at it. Yeah. Even when I walk into a building, the first thing I look at is an exit point. So I'm walking in, but I'm looking at exit points. So that's the way life should be, really. But we were taught from very early on, because the work that we do, we need to be extra alert. But if we don't come, we'll definitely we'll suggest someone that could do it. Huh? Okay. Yeah. Right. It's a must. And remember, apni qawm de vich, men and women, they both trained. So apa dono hi shastrਧਾਰੀ ha. It's not just the men's responsibility. It's ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ I was going to say man up, but no, but woman up a bit, and learn just basic skills, yeah? And the more you do, the more confident you feel. ਤੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਓਗੇ, ਉੱਥੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ confidence ਹੋਊਗੀ ਕਿ I can do A, B, and C. And that's beautiful to know how safe you feel. And also, you know, I know young people, maybe there should be a program on just the phone usage. क्योंकि अपने नियाने डरदे बहुत या कि मैं गलत काम करन चलिया, मैं location बंद कर देनी, यहाँ कर देनी, ये वो कर देनी. It could catch you in a lot of trouble, guys. So don't fall into them kind of traps, yeah? Anything else? The last one before we go. And maybe you need to do a seminar with everyone in there next time, you know what I mean, yeah? But I think we'll be coming to the main Gurdwara at the end of, middle of September, because we're Guru Nanak Darbar, Hanji. Hanji. Oh, you're the president, and election. I did speak to him. ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ 3 ਤੋਂ 4 ਵਜੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸੰਗਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਸੰਡੇ ਵਾਲੇ ਦਿਨ ਹੈ ਨਾ. So we will probably try to do a program there. But these things are now going to carry on because politicians, they want to exploit as much and blame somebody so they can get their seats. And we as an immigrant community are the ones that are going to face the brunt of it. We're going to be blamed. Unna diyan jobban chal gayiyan, unna da aa hai nahi, wo hai nahi. I know for a fact ਕਿ ਜੇ ਅੱਜ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੱਢ ਦੇਣ ਬਾਹਰ ਹੈ ਨਾ, everything would collapse. 60% NHS ਬੰਦ ਹੋ ਜੂ, because ਜਿੰਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਆ ਤੇ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਰਸਿਸ ਆ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੁਲਕ ਚੱਲਣਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ. But they're not concerned. They're just concerned with ਝੂਠ ਬੋਲੀ ਜਾਣਾ, ਬੋਲੀ ਜਾਣਾ, ਬੋਲੀ ਜਾਣਾ. ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕੁਰਸੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ? ਐਂਡ ਰਿਮੈਂਬਰ, ਇਹ 2-3 ਸਾਲ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਚੱਲਣਾ. ਜਿੱਥੇ politicians will be going at each another, and then we're going to be the brunt of it. Immigration would be something that keeps coming up and coming up and coming up, and you are all immigrants. I'm an immigrant. I was 2 years old when I come. Okay? So these kind of talks need to happen and continuously happen. Okay? So thank you very much for listening. When you go out today, are you going to put your tutti in? I can't hear you. When you go next week, will you do it? Take something away and apply it in your life, okay? Onu apply kar do. You never know. That might be the thing that saves you. I had a gori. I remember many years ago. Bus stop de utte hai na. Onu ek Musliman banda tang karda si. Followed her. And our Gurdwara was not far from the bus stop. So she ran into the Gurdwara. And she was 13, 14. And then the guy backed off. And she says, in her religious education, she was taught that if you're ever in trouble, if you see a Nishan Sahib, just run towards it. And also, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਵੱਡੀ ਬਿਲਡਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਹੋਣੀ ਆ, there's more protection. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ? So apply these things in your life and Maharaj ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰੂਗਾ ਕਿ everything will be safe and sound. So I'll in our hearts and minds, ਆਪਾਂ start ਵੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿਰਨਦੀਪ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿਛੜੇ ਰੂਹ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਿਵਾਸ ਬਖਸ਼ੇ. And I know the family's going through a lot because there's close people to us that are talking to the family as well, and they're all struggling, and we don't even know what's going to happen with the 3-month, 4-month-old baby. So just keep her in your heart and minds and prayers, and so that we can get the best results. So ਆਓ ਆਪਾਂ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਕਰੀਏ. ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਰਸਨਾ ਵਾਂਝੀ ਨਾ ਰਵੇ. ਗੱਜ ਵੱਜ ਕੇ ਫਤਿਹ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਗਾਇਸ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.